3 years into our relationship, Eve and I had become the couple that everyone admired. Our friends often remarked on how perfectly we complemented each other, and I found myself believing it too. Eva was stunning, brilliant, and full of a vibrant energy that kept me intrigued. We often discussed our future together, dreaming of marriage, children, and growing old side by side. I truly thought I had found the one I was meant to spend my life with. But as life tends to do, it has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. One Friday evening, I finished work earlier than usual, eager to surprise Eva with her favorite sushi and a bottle of wine she loved. Both of us have been overwhelmed with work lately, and I thought a quiet night would be the perfect opportunity to reconnect. As I pulled into the parking spot of our shared apartment, I noticed her car already outside. Something felt off. The lights in the living room were off, and the apartment was eerily silent. I carried the food and wine inside, calling out, "Eva, I'm home." No response. I placed the bags on the kitchen counter and noticed her shoes by the door. Those same shoes she wore when going out. Her purse was casually draped over the couch. She was definitely home. Then I heard it, a muffled laugh from the bedroom. My stomach twisted, and an overwhelming sense of dread washed over me. I walked slowly toward the bedroom, each step heavier than the last. Another laugh followed, this time accompanied by a man's voice. My heart pounded, and I could barely hear my own thoughts. I cautiously pushed the bedroom door open just enough to see inside, and there she was, Eva, the woman I had imagined spending my life with, lying in our bed with another man. I froze, my mind racing, struggling to comprehend what I had just witnessed. My first instinct was to burst in, scream, and demand answers, but instead, I quietly backed away, closing the door gently behind me. I walked into the living room and sat on the couch, staring blankly at the wall, trying to make sense of the betrayal that had just shattered my world. Minutes later, Eva appeared in the doorway, as casual as ever, as though nothing was wrong. "Oh, you're home," she said, her voice indifferent. She stood there wrapped in a robe, her hair messy and unkempt. There was no sign of guilt or remorse, only annoyance, as if my presence was nothing more than an inconvenience. "We need to talk," I said, my voice trembling with the emotions I was struggling to contain. Despite the storm inside me, I kept my tone steady. She crossed her arms, leaning against the doorway. "About what?" she asked, her voice defensive. I gestured toward the bedroom. "About what I just saw." She rolled her eyes and let out a long, exaggerated sigh, as if I were the one being unreasonable. "Look," she snapped, her tone sharp. "It's my body. I can be with whoever I want until we're married," she said, her words hitting me like a slap in the face. I stood there, frozen, waiting for her to take it back, for any sign of remorse or guilt. But there was nothing. She remained standing there, unapologetic and almost smug. "Are you serious?" I asked, my voice barely more than a whisper. "Yes," she answered, her voice sharp and firm. "You're overreacting. We're not married yet, so I don't owe you anything. This is my life, and I'll live it however I choose." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was the woman I had planned to marry, the person I thought I would spend my entire life with. And now, here she was, defending her actions as if they were completely justified. "You've been pushing me to marry you," I said, my voice cold and steady, though it shook with disbelief. "But how can I marry someone who betrays me?" She shrugged, her face showing no emotion, indifferent to the devastation she had caused. "Marriage changes everything," she said. "This wouldn't happen if we were married." Her logic was twisted, completely void of any accountability, and it left me speechless. Did she honestly believe that a ring and a signed paper would erase the disrespect and lack of commitment she had shown me? I stood up, grabbed my keys, and looked her squarely in the eye. "I can't do this, Eva. I deserve better." Her eyes widened, as though she hadn't expected me to actually walk away. "Wait," she said, her voice softer for the first time. "You're really going to throw all this away over one mistake." "One mistake," I repeated, shaking my head in disbelief. "A mistake is something you regret. You don't regret this. You've made that clear." She didn't respond, just stood there, watching silently as I walked out the door. As I drove away, a strange sense of calm settled over me. Yes, I was heartbroken. Yes, I was furious. But more than anything, I felt liberated, free from the lies, the manipulation, and the disrespect. I didn't look back. I left the apartment to her, blocked her number, and began again. It wasn't easy. For weeks, I wrestled with my emotions, questioning if I had made the right choice. But deep down, I knew I had. Months later, I heard from mutual friends that she was still waiting for me to come to my senses, still convinced I'd cave and come crawling back. What she didn't realize was that by walking away, I had found my strength. Leaving wasn't just about ending the relationship. It was about choosing myself, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.